SmileyGo, please make your way to the stage.
¿Cómo están? Buenas noches. Repeat after me. I love Riverside.
I love Riverside.
Woo! All right. I'm Pedro Espinoza from Peru. And let's start. SmileyGo. What is SmileyGo? Our mission is to empower corporations to give smarter. And how do I go forward? Okay, perfect. We are an enterprise solution that empowers corporations to give smarter. What do I mean by that? The problem that we're solving is that many community engagement relationship managers, corporate responsibility directors, and PR managers spend a lot of time in grant matrix development, creating spreadsheets, sending emails, attachments, and sending them to their bosses. We streamline the process by creating a cloud-based enterprise solution so you can literally send all the grants and budget for the next years. Another problem that we're solving is targeting. Many corporate responsibilities and public affairs professionals really struggle finding the specific nonprofit programs aligned to their specific corporate values. Our solution, as I was mentioning, is a mobile-friendly data science enterprise solution where you can budget nonprofits, when you can measure and visualize where your impact is going in terms of the grants, and you can also message nonprofits. The 1.5 million nonprofits that we have in our CRM are IRS vetted, which means they've been audited every single year by the Internal Revenue Service. What is our vision? At SmileyGo, we truly believe it's better to give than to receive. It's been proven that it's a better business to be engaged with your community. When your business is engaged, not only you have good PR, but your employees are engaged. It improves your retention, your recruiting, and also it's good PR. Our current team, as I mentioned, I'm from Peru. My first job was in Toyota when I realized that multinationals care about their public image and have a budget for corporate sustainability, for Community Reinvestment Act, for community relations. My CTO and co-founder, his name is Joey Pereira. He worked at Google last year before we poached him. And then we have a VP of sales, his name is Ted Mullins, who used to work at Legislative and also used to be an officer in San Francisco. Then we have board members, advisory board members from Stanford GSB, from former mayor of San Jose, Ron Gonzalez, Wilson and Cincini, our general counsel, and a former partner at Andreessen Horowitz. Let's look at our market. What is the total addressable market? According to Blackbot Inc., our market leader, the market size is $6.3 billion. We're targeting the finance, utilities, and retail companies because these are the companies that are heavily invested in their communities and are not tech companies. Why are we not targeting tech companies? Because they can probably easily build the dashboard in a matter of months. The numbers, as I said, and this is the good news that we've done our due diligence and research. Starting this year, the IRS started uploading the 990 forms, which is the nonprofit data, which they audit, on the cloud. Everything is moving to the public cloud on Amazon Web Services. So what we're doing is we're pulling all the data through AWS. Whereas you look at other competitors, they receive disks from the IRS every month of data. Now, the competitive landscape. As I mentioned, there are similar platforms in the arena. As you can see, Benevity and Bright Funds, they focus on different niches. Benevity is heavily focused on employee giving for matching gifts, and Bright Funds on individual funds. We focus more on the business units of the corporations. Name it community relations, public relations, corporate social responsibility, CRA, public affairs, or external affairs. We focus on, you can visualize and see the social impact of your grants and budget for the next years. You no longer need to budget for the next years and create more spreadsheets and find more email attachments. everything is on the cloud. Last but not least, we have a compare and contrast tool where you can compare up to 10 nonprofits simultaneously. Because many CSR professionals tell us they can't tell the difference between a nonprofit in STEM for Latinas and a nonprofit for STEM for Hispanics. So then we use different filters and graphs so you can distinguish them. Last but not least, we have who's backing us. We've had the honor of being blessed by Manos Accelerator, who's backing us since 2015. We also got the seed grant, seed funding from Berkeley Haas this year, so go Bears. And last but not least, we got funding from Frank Baxter, former CEO and chairman of Jefferies Group, investment banking in New York, and former US ambassador to Uruguay during the Bush administration. And now we're fundraising an angel round of $500,000 convertible note, 4% interest rate, with a minimum investment of $100,000. Thank you so much, dear Sharks, and let's go Riverside.
Thank you very much, SmileyGo. All right, Shark, so why don't we start with Manny, and each Shark has 2 minutes to ask questions, and then we'll go down.
Just full disclosure, I judged the panel at Stanford, and he was there, and so I'm familiar with you a little bit. Since that time, perhaps, did you have any sales or any type of traction that you can show besides the nice slides that you showed us today?
Great question, thank you. Since May 2016, we have met with San Jose Water Company, PG&E, and we've also met with Restoration Hardware. These are all local Bay Area, well, we're in SoCal, but local Bay Area companies. And San Jose Water has verbally committed to be a beta user. And we have a meeting on October 18th to demo to the giving committee. So that's part of the sales pipeline.
And some entrepreneurs are quite ambitious. They don't have much traction, but yet they want large dollar amounts when they get started. Like you mentioned, 100,000 minimum. Why is that?
We recently pivoted to a more data-driven product, and we figured that we need to target the enterprise, no longer SMBs, which that was for the alpha. And for enterprise, they want more than a budgeting tool. What I showed is what it's already built, but we want to build, in addition, the employee giving side. So for that, we need another data scientist, we need another back-end engineer, and as you know, salaries are pretty expensive.
Hey Manny, do you mind if we kind of do this a little dynamically versus 2 minutes, so we can kind of like say, hey, Manny, I'm going to call you out. That was a terrible question.
I'll vote for that.
That'll be more entertaining. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it like that. What do you guys think?
Let's do it. Let's
All right.
Okay, all right, cool.
Hello.
So how do I make money? I just haven't connected the dots here. What are the economics on, you know, what the customer pays, what your costs are, and what my profit is? I want to make money.
Sure, great question. We have a subscription model, annual licensed software, typical SaaS. Our competitors charge, it's a business tiered model. It depends how much the company gives. As you guys will know, AT&T, PG&E, everyone's here, it's beautiful, love you guys. You guys disclose how many millions you guys give. So based, if you give 20 millions a year, whether if you give 2 millions a fiscal year, we're going to charge you less. The ranges depend, as I said. It can start from 10,000 to 30,000 a year, to 30,000 to 45,000 a year, and so forth.
Got it. So have you pitched that to San Jose, and what was the reaction to that?
They asked me for the range, and San Jose Water Company has one person full-time on community engagement. His name is Tim McLaughlin, and I said that we were arranged, since he's a beta, he's going to be the first customer, from 5,000 to around 25, 30,000. He said he felt comfortable, but of course, he said more leaning towards the 15, 10 grand a year.
So 15,000 a year, and then how much does it cost you to service that client? Because it sounds like you have a lot of overhead, you want to add another data scientist and more team members, et cetera, et cetera. So walk me through, and I know it's one client, but I really want to understand, like in a steady state situation, what would that cost structure be, not only to acquire that client, but to service that client over time?
Great question. So we're aiming to have a handful of customers at the beginning of 2017, first quarter and second quarter. We're not aiming for 30 or 40 customers because we don't have the customer support. Primarily, I'm going to be responsible for being in communications with them every single week. In terms of the cost, well, we have myself, we have Joey, and then once we hire the 3 engineers, then payroll's going to increase.
All right, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm out, and the reason why I'm out is I think what you need to be able to do is clearly communicate the unit economics of your business model up front to any investor, because if you don't have a clear-cut answer to that, independent of where you are with this potential client, I think you really need to show that ROI roadmap to any investor that you're presenting. So I applaud your traction, but I'm out.
Okay, thank you.
I'm going to take a different tact. I happen to have been a consultant to about 40 nonprofits. I think your product is phenomenal. I'm not sure how you come with an evaluation to request of 100,000. I will be interested in investing in you, but you need to strike a different deal. Your market of 6.3 billion, it's good, it's not ample. When it comes to scaling, I need a little bit more on upside. The other element I like to say, you have a phenomenal group. You have great social capital, and it's very much aligned with doing your corporate social responsibility. Our expertise is triple bottom line investing. I'm interested in finance, I'm interested in social impact, and also very important on the health of the community. So you're getting closer to where our sweet spot is. So we do deserve to continue this discussion. You need to strengthen not only your unit economics. I think what you need to strengthen is link all your social capital that you have to sales.
Gotcha. Okay.
I want to see not only the return on investment, financial return on investment, but I want to see how many jobs you're actually creating. We need jobs in our community that come from technology. And technology is a tough road when you talk about technology creation. And also, here's another thing. There is several competitors in your space that you didn't cover. They're better capitalized than you are. However, here's the unique element that you have. You in the Latino space right now. And everyone in this room should be downloading that app and getting your feedback so you can be testing and getting real feedback. Then you can touch bases with Southern California Edison and other institutional investors. That's my feedback.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to have to agree with Jesus on the business model, on that it's a great, I like it myself, but I tend to look at things on the operational, from the operations side, as that's my background. And I'm looking at you're seeking $100,000 for a 3.3% stake. As the minimum, you said $100,000, correct? And you also put in your notes that you're going to use this to hire a VP of sales, and they have a certain benchmark or sales to meet. And you're the guy behind the vision. You're the guy that really likes this concept. You understand it better than anybody else. I would expect you to be that VP of sales to go out there and raise the money, create the customers, because it's your vision, it's your product, it's your baby, right? So you should be the one doing that. But despite that, let's just say you're not doing that. If you are hiring somebody, $100,000, like you just mentioned, you need to put all your resources into sales to make this baby grow quickly. And $100,000 is not going to get you the caliber of sales VPs that you need. So I don't think you're asking for enough money to get that rolled out. And I wanted to ask you this. You put here that you're going to use these funds for, you're breaking it out into different, you didn't mention anything about marketing, about using the money just for a VP of sales. So how do you plan to sell it?
Thank you. Great question. We filled that document several weeks ago. We sent it to Juan. And since then, we hired the VP of sales, who's Ted Mullins, in one of the slides. So there are good news. We have more updated news. Now, the money that we're raising is for the backend and the data scientists, basically product-driven engineers.
Thank you.
Well, that hits our 8 minutes. Sharks, do we have an offer?
This is not my space. I'm products and distribution. So for that reason, I'll be out.
Thank you for the feedback.
I'll reconsider and give me another offer. I can offer you, but I want you to offer me. A little bit different. Because if you don't know your value, and I know your value, automatically place them at an advantage. So you tell me how much you really need.
All right. In terms of convertible note and equity,
Just listen to what the gentleman said to my right. You're not asking for enough capital. If you burn too much, your burn rate is too high, that means your break even and your acceleration of a consumption of capital is going to burn you on your first 6 to 8 months.
He has an
You're not-
unproven model. He has to start some sales.
That's okay. I want to know that up front, at least an idea.
Well, if
That's all
you
I'm
disagree,
asking.
Manny, do you have an offer on the table?
What I want to say is that he doesn't have a proven model because he has to hustle and make sales, and he cannot hire someone to sell your vision. It's like hiring a nanny to take care of your kids. You got to do it yourself. If you can't do it yourself, you're going to fail. And then maybe you figure it out how it works, and then you hire a person. So,
Okay.
But I could be wrong. And I'm an investor in Dropbox, and so I have some good name companies. But the thing is, my heart goes out to the entrepreneurs that are trying to do it and need a little help. I want to ask the crowd a question here. I want to ask the crowd, because there's going to be a crowd decision. If I get the crowd support, I'm going to make an offer.
All right. Let's
Only if I get
put
the
your money
crowd
on the
support.
table. Let's do this.
Actually, there's already an offer on the table.
Yes.
the
Let's just
VP of
hold on
sales
one
is
second.
already hired, so I'm just fundraising
That's
for
right.
engineers. But go for it. Go with your offer.
No, it's your offer.
No, it's your offer.
All right, my offer. So
Yeah.
you didn't like the 500,000 convertible note. Okay,
You said 100,000 minimum. Why 100,000?
because that'll be able to pay a salary of at least one full-time engineer for
And what will
12
that do?
months.
What will that bring me? What does that bring to the enterprise?
We'll be able to build version 1. Right now we're in beta stage. That's why I'm here to meet awesome enterprises and
Okay.
get the beta feedback. We
Okay,
need
so we're going to have to end this. We need to figure this out because we have several other great startups. So let's
just
go
to
ahead.
build the version 1. That's that, and
I'm
then
going to
sell to
offer.
enterprises.
I'm going to offer my social capital. They can get you more than $100,000.
All right, I take it.
How is that?
And
How is that?
I was at.
I'm going to bring you my connections to get you $100,000. Actually, more.
Thank you so much.
Without traction, you don't have anything.
I agree.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
It's not about the financial capital. It's about the connections that you're going to build so it has sustainability. Got it?
Well, you can't pay your bills with social capital. You got to need money. So if I'm going to make some investment today, all right, well, he's cutting us off, so I guess we got to do it off the stage then. But anyone here that really likes him and think you'll actually want to put out, say, $100, and if there's enough people that really want to support him, we're going to match it by 75%. So I'll explain more about it. But if someone's got to come together and say, you know what, there's enough, at least $1,000 for this guy, I'm going to personally put down at least $10,000, and we got to restructure a deal. Maybe this gentleman is going to open his network, and we can combine our network to help you.
All right, so why don't we do this?
I got
Why don't-
10K down.
It sounds like that's fantastic, but it sounds like we're not really putting together a deal that on the table here besides what you're offering with the social selling within your network. So basically, the question is, are you going to take it or not? Do you want to?
I'll take the gentleman's offer. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. All right.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.